Morning, guys. Back on the mats with Kay and Will. Today we're going to touch on a topic that's very close to my heart, and I think we've touched on it before as well. As most of you are aware, I'm relocating down to Cape Town, and what's things that's on my mind is finding a new gym. So finding a new gym, finding a new place to roll, finding a new garage. Most of our rolls and anywhere in Gauteng is in a garage. So for me, that's one of the things in terms of my personal life, in terms of my career, that's pretty much under control. Now it's a question of actually finding a gym. So, okay, we've touched on it. Share some thoughts on finding a new gym, finding a new partner, finding a new garage to roll in. What's your thoughts on this?
Well, I'm very sad that you're going to go, but I believe we're still going to roll when you're up here, so we'll just deal with it, hey?
Definitely. So if we talk about these sort of things, right? And it happens a lot because people move from gym to gym, and I really do believe you need to find the right gym to start off with. And for me, if you find the right gym, me being an older guy, I haven't got ego. I don't like ego. I'm no longer competitive. I just like to roll because I like a lekker hard roll, but nothing vindictive. And I think for me, it's really important to find the right gym in Cape Town. I know you're very connected, Kay, and you'll probably be able to help me out with finding the right gym. But for me, it's something that I would like to talk about is actually, how do you find that right gym? What is your mindset when you go to that gym? How do you roll your first roll? Because me being, for example, in a Kyokushin background years and years ago, there was an etiquette when you get to a gym. You just don't walk in there and actually try to take everybody out. You actually take one step back, you're polite, you don't go at 100%, you go at a 70%, or you go as hard as the other guy's going. But for me, it's etiquette, and you need to be very careful. Like Neil always says, first things first, protect yourself, and then the second thing is protect your partner. But for me, it's actually finding the right guys with the same sort of vibe, same sort of mindset. And that is what we've got in Gauteng at our club at this point in time. It's guys with the same mindset, roll lekker hard rolls, but nothing vindictive. Nobody's there to actually, to be honest with you, measure their cocks for something, for lack of better word. So from my side, that's what that's what I'm pondering on. What's your thoughts?
Yeah, I think it's very important to be in a space that's safe. That's what is so addictive, I think, to rolling the way we roll, where we're rolling in a garage now. It's such a safe space. I literally used to get anxiety when I was going to an open mat or even just to a class, depending on who rocked up for class, who I'd get teamed up with, because sometimes the coach tells you who to roll, who to team up with, and things like that. So I would sometimes get anxiety having to go roll at the gym that I belong to. And it shouldn't be that way. And like I was saying, I think that's what's so addictive now about the way that we're rolling in a garage. And it should be the same way at a gym. You should feel safe going to a gym. And you should be able to roll the same way, knowing that the person you're going to roll is not going to try and beat you. We talk about not trying to win. You roll to learn, and you roll to roll. And some people roll to win. So they pretend that every round is like flipping 80cc Olympic jits comp, and they've got to try and prove themselves instead of just rolling with the person. I mean, so I think when you go to a gym, I think you definitely first test it out, especially not you. You're extremely skilled, so you're going to have to step it down a little bit and just not make them feel bad. I think if you have to go full out on them on the first day, they're going to leave jits and being like, why am I doing this? Hey, you're going to have to tone it down with the skills you have. And just like introduce yourself slowly, I suppose. If you're someone that's new to jits or even if you're experienced, when you go to a gym, you don't know what their culture is, what their I would actually, thinking about it, before even rolling, I would go and watch a class. Go say you want to check out the vibe. Go and watch the first class, and maybe even go and watch an open mat, because and I think that is why Neil's students all roll the way they roll, and why you know you are safe rolling with Neil's students, because I think it all rolls downhill. So if the coach is a dick, then his coaches under him are going to be arseholes. Their students are going to be arseholes. So you're going to end up rolling arseholes that are going to try and hurt you. Whereas if the coach puts a certain etiquette and culture in place in the club, you'll see it in the students and you'll see it in the coaches and the way that they sort of spread the vibes, engage, exactly. So I would, if you're going to go look at a new club, I would actually, instead of going and trying out a class, I would actually just go and watch a class. Because even being someone who is skilled, if you roll a chop, even if they're a brand new white belt and you're at your level, you can still get hurt if they do like some crazy thing. You gotta see the etiquette and the culture of the club. So I would go watch a class, and if it looks like your kind of place, then go try out a class and try out an open mat, and then take it from there.
Okay, thanks, man. I think it's awesome advice, and I think it also links to the question that was sent through on the website. If you can just quickly pull the question up, and then we'll address the question, because there's a lot of things, there's a lot of touch points when it comes to what we've just spoken about and about the question that was posted on the website. So, okay, read us the question, and then we'll take it from there.
Okay, so this one was actually submitted today, and it says, I'm the only woman in my gym. My female partner left last year. I sometimes feel overlooked by the coaches, especially one coach. What do you think?
Okay, so once again, now we're talking about gym, we're talking about the club, we're talking about an individual. So there's so many things that's not said, for example. So she mentions that she feels like she's being overlooked, but the way I read the question, I might be wrong, is she's then not overlooked by the other coaches. So I don't know how many coaches that are in the gym, but let's say there's 3 or 4, there's multiple coaches. So the majority of them is not overlooking her, or that's her perception, and perception becomes reality. So then, if it's only the perception, her perception, that only one coach is actually overlooking her, then it boils down to what we've always touched on, okay? It's always about, like any relationship, it's like a relationship with your wife, your husband, your partner. It's all about communication. So if I feel as if I'm not happy, or I've got a certain perception, I need to address it with my partner. I need to talk about it. You need to walk up and say, okay, this is my perception. How do we go from here? And I think that is reality, because otherwise, if you feel as if this is happening and you feel as if that is happening, we never know. It's only a perception. So that's the first thing. And if it is a reality in terms of she is being overlooked, she needs to address it with a coach and actually ask, why is that happening? Why is that the behavior she's currently experiencing? And if it is something that she can work on and something that they can work on, that is always the second option. And then the third option, and we spoke about it while we were rolling just now, it is a club, right? It is the same scenario where I'm currently in. You go to the club, you don't like the club, you don't like the vibe, you find another club. Because there's so many clubs out there, there's so many people with the right attitude, with the right passion. You need to find a spot where you belong. It's the same thing in your professional, in your career. It's the same scenario. There's cultures in different companies. If you don't belong to or don't buy into the culture, rather go and find somewhere where you belong, because life is way too short. So that is my take on it. Kay, what's your thoughts?
Yeah, there's there's so many ways to answer this, because we don't have much information. But so if we approach it from different angles, like you say, is it only the one coach? So do you have to deal with this coach? Is it possible to deal with the other coaches? Then you need to ask yourself the question is, what are they doing that makes you feel overlooked? Are they not assisting you in class? Is it that people are being promoted and you're not being promoted? What is it that gives the perception that you're being overlooked? And then I think that if you are being overlooked, if that once you've asked the questions, and that is certainly the case, I think you should be able to approach your coach and speak to them about it. I think this nonsense where you can't go speak to your coach is where there's like a wall up is insane. And I know that that's a culture that gets brought up in clubs and things, is that the coach is untouchable. And at the end of the day, it's also a business and you are paying them. You should be able to go and approach them and ask them questions. And like I mentioned in the last podcast, it all depends on how you're going to approach it. So if you're going to be like, yo, dude, like, what the F's going on here and stuff, you're obviously going to get the wrong reaction. So I think you should speak to them, approach them. If you feel like you're being overlooked, go speak to your coach, say, look, this is how you're feeling. Are you picking up the wrong vibe? Or, ask their opinion on it, and then find out a way to resolve it. You adults in the club, you should be able to speak to each other like adults and come to a solution. And then if the solution is not favorable for you or you don't like it, you're not a tree, you can move, go find another gym. And if you can't find a gym that's nice, get some mats, roll in your garage. That's my opinion on that.
Awesome, Kay. Yeah, I think I definitely agree with you with regards to find your own mat or your own garage or your own club that really fits your personality and actually fits your goals. So yeah, that's the only advice that we can get. Hope it helps. These sort of things are always tricky. And it's like anything in life. It's a learning for all of us. You learn from every engagement that you have, for any problem that you're facing, anything that you address, that you need to work through. That is part of life. So I hope some of the advice we gave you might be able to actually assist you a little bit. Okay, back to you.
Yeah, something else about that is, and this is something you and I always talk about as well, is that you also need to ask yourself why you do jiu-jitsu. Do you do it because you want the attention in the club and you want to impress the coaches and you want to get that stripe on your belt and your grading at the end of the day? If that's the case, then you need to address it with the coach and you need to find another club. But if you're rolling because you want to roll, because you enjoy the activity of it, you enjoy the intensity of it, and you roll for your benefit, not for any grading or any recognition or anything, then I wouldn't even bother. If you feel like you're learning and you're growing in that and you don't need the coach's approval or for them to give you the attention, then carry on rolling. Roll for what your goal is at the end of the day, or go roll like we roll in a garage, because we're not trying to look, obviously we always want to make Neil happy. But he's not here now. We're rolling, and we're not rolling for a coach. We're rolling because we enjoy rolling, So I think you need to the first thing is decide why you're doing jiu-jitsu, and then approach it accordingly from there.
Okay, magic advice. And I think if that is something that we can assist with, I think it's absolutely awesome, the advice you've just given. So from my side, okay, that's me. Anything else that you would like to add to this discussion?
Nope.
So guys, thank you very much. From Kay and from Will, the mats never lie. Have an absolutely blessed one.